Now available in paperback and Kindle Unlimited. John Haynes, the man with nothing to lose. The man who rules the world runs into the irresistible force of a man with nothing to lose in this action-packed, all-new John Haynes series adventure. Get the regular and variant editions of John Haynes, the man with nothing to lose on Amazon.com today. One of my viewers wanted me to talk about beta male fathers who record their sons' discipline for entertainment on social media. Now, this viewer says they saw a video of a father who was recording the punishment of his son for sneaking out of the home, and as he was recording this punishment of his son for sneaking out of the home on Instagram Live, he got emotional and started yelling at him and telling him that he was going to tell everyone what he did on social media. Now, this whole approach to discipline isn't really discipline. It is actually emotional abuse, and it is emotional abuse because this male, who is the father of this son, basically possibly is someone who came from a female-headed household, and because he came from a female-headed household, he's approaching discipline from the perspective of emotion and not approaching it from the logical perspective of a man. Because a man, when he goes out here and looks to discipline, he looks to participate in actions that will lead to the correction of the behavior, so his son won't participate in these behaviors again. He won't look to go out here and participate in socially, emotionally abusive behaviors that will lead to a boy's humiliation and emasculation. No, only effeminized beta males will go out here and look to try to do things to humiliate and emasculate a boy who is his son, because oftentimes with beta males, because many of these males come from a female's perspective, they don't see boys as someone that they need to go out here and teach. No, in some cases they see the boy as somebody they are competing with for the attention of the mother, and because they see the boy as somebody they're competing for the attention of the mother, they want to go out here and do things that they believe will humiliate and emasculate that boy, and that can do damage to that boy's overall development when he gets older. Because when that boy is basically humiliated in adolescence as related to social places like social media, what this does is make it where that boy believes that he can't trust that father to be his leader. It makes him believe he cannot trust that man's ability to lead as an authority figure, and it makes it where that boy doesn't respect that man's authority, because if a man will go out here and look to put another man's business in the street, that is a violation of the man code, and it is a complete violation of the man code for a father to go out here and take a situation like discipline and take a smartphone and start recording it and looking to broadcast it on social media for the entertainment of others. This is again a violation of the written and unwritten social rules of men, and a father who is worth his salt isn't going to do anything to violate the code of men, especially when it comes to his son, because one, his son is a reflection of him, and two, he wants to go out here and teach his values to his son as related to raising him to be a man of character. And because a father wants to raise his son to be a man of character, he's going to want to participate in behaviors that show him modeling that code of manhood. Unfortunately, when it comes to beta males, many beta males don't learn anything about manhood because they learned all of the things about manhood from a woman, and because they learned everything about manhood from a woman, they believe that the way to punish a teenage boy is to go out here and look for a way to humiliate and emasculate him in a social circle, because for him, he thinks that if he humiliates and emasculates this boy in a social circle, one, what it will do is make it where this boy will appear weaker in those social circles, so he won't have to compete with that boy for the attention of his mother and other women. And two, he believes that if he humiliates and emasculates that boy, what that will do is go out here and break that boy's confidence so that he will never go out here and do what he did before. Now, both of these approaches, again, from the beta male's perspective, do real damage to a boy. One, it does damage to the boy because, again, it makes it where he believes he can't trust another man. And two, it makes it where that boy does not learn how to build up self-confidence. And three, what it does is make it where the boy never really learns any sort of real lessons as related to boundaries, because the whole point of discipline is to show a boy where there are boundaries, and also to show him that there are authority figures who will establish order as related to the authority they're establishing and the rules they are setting for their home. That is the goal of any father who wants to discipline his son. His goal is to go out here and let that boy know where the boundaries are, who the authority is, and who is going to enforce the rules as related to that home. That is the goal of discipline as related to a boy when he goes out here and steps over the boundary. It is the father's job to let the boy know where the line is, what rule he violated, and what consequences he will have to face for violating those rules. And this is supposed to be done in a logical way to let the boy know that if he sneaks out of the house, he will be punished by being made to do something like cleaning the yards and the lawn, or going out here and doing all other sorts of work, or he will be grounded and made to stay in that home if he violates the boundaries of going out of the house rules. This is how a father lets a son know that he is accountable for his actions, and let him know that there are consequences for violating his home rules. And because a boy is logical, he understands that if his father is asserting authority and setting order, he has to respect the rules of that man's home and the order of his home, or he will have to deal with further discipline. But when you have a beta male who is running on emotion instead of logic, what he's looking to do is go out here and looking to humiliate and emasculate that boy because he's insecure in his own manhood, and he gets power from breaking another younger man down because he wants that male to feel less of a man than he is. And the way he does that is by going out here and looking to humiliate that boy in social circles. But the way he humiliates that boy basically takes him off the man code, and by going off the man code, this beta male basically shows the world that he is not a man who can be a leader, because a leader does not go out here and put his business in the street like this, because when you record yourself punishing your son for sneaking out, you're basically putting your business out on the street. And when you put that business out on the street, you are sending a message to the world that you are a weak man, and you are a weak man looking to form a covert contract with strangers on social media to let them know, try to go out here and shame your son into socially being humiliated for going out of violating your boundaries. But what you've done, ironically, is violate the man code, because any man who is disciplining his son what he does is keep that private. And the reason why that man keeps it private is because what goes on between a father and a son as related to discipline is supposed to be private, and it's supposed to be between that father and son as related to them going out here and resolving a conflict. When a boy is out of line, it's supposed to be a private matter between a father and a son, and this models an example of how a boy is supposed to handle conflict as to related to other men, because a father, when he has a conflict with another man, he goes to that man in private, and he goes to that man in private and lets him know what the problem is, and the two of them work that problem out between themselves. And that is what a father is supposed to do for his son: sit down and talk to his son about whatever issue he's having with that son in private. And as he talks to that son in private, he lets him know where he went wrong, lets him know what the rules of his home are, and lets him know what the consequences of going out of his rules are. That is what a man does to model conflict resolution to his son. And the only type of males who go out here and record their sons on social media are dysfunctional beta males, and dysfunctional beta males want to record their sons on social media for, one, to try to get attention for themselves, two, to humiliate and emasculate their sons in an effort to try to gain power over them, and three, looking to use the group of peer pressure on social media to also reinforce the humiliation and emasculation of their sons, and four, want to go out here and create a covert contract in an effort to get attention and validation for themselves. So this is the reason why the beta male will pick up a smartphone and record himself going out here disciplining his son. He does this because he's coming from a position of weakness. He's coming from a place where he has no self-confidence. He's coming from a place where he is not really looking to lead, but is scared of taking a leadership role. And as he goes out here and participates in this kind of behavior, what he does is basically show everyone he's not a man who needs to be respected, because his son basically is looking at this man and seeing a male who is a coward, who's out here recording himself because he cannot go out here and settle conflict in private. And people on social media are seeing a weak man who is too busy looking to clout chase and make noise, trying to get views on IG Live. Again, effeminate behavior from a guy who's acting more like a female and not like a man. And this is the type of textbook beta male behavior that I talk about in my book, The Man Crisis. And this is the type of behavior that beta male fathers participate in that leads to their sons growing up to become dysfunctional. And this is the type of behavior that sets an example for a boy that makes it where he doesn't learn how to trust other men, doesn't learn how to go out here and get guidance from men from the brotherhood, because he's too busy. He's been traumatized by the humiliation and emasculation by another man, so he doesn't want to reach out to other men, which will hurt him in the future, because in the real world, men have to go out here and reach out to other men. Moreover, men have to go out here and have conflict with other men, and as they're having conflict with other men, they have to learn to resolve that conflict with other men in a respectable way. And when a boy is disrespected like this, he doesn't learn that men can resolve conflict in a respectable manner, where disagreements can be resolved through constructive conflict resolution. That is what a boy does not learn when he's in a home with a beta male father, because a beta male father cannot go out here and model manhood for a boy because he doesn't have the man code. Moreover, a beta male father He does everything based on feelings and not logic, and cannot teach a boy an example of manhood as related to the written and unwritten social rules of manhood. And when you have a father who goes out here and looks to record his son for entertainment on social media, he's participating in emotional abuse that will basically scar this boy for life, and emotional abuse that will take this boy off the road from being a man to becoming a man in crisis. Now, if you want to learn more about the dysfunctional behaviors that beta males and beta male fathers participate in, you can pick up my book, The Man Crisis, on Amazon.com in paperback and Kindle format. You can also find The Man Crisis at other online booksellers like Smashwords, the iBookstore, Google Play, and Barnes & Noble. And if you want to see me make more videos like this, you can send a donation to the PayPal, the Patreon, or the Cash App by clicking out the links in the description box. That's all I have to say for this video. You can comment, rate, and subscribe. Now available in paperback and Kindle Unlimited, The Man Crisis. Learn why so many men are struggling to find their way in an increasingly gynocentric world in The Man Crisis. Get your copy of The Man Crisis in paperback and Kindle Unlimited today. Support Black-owned and Black-operated digital broadcast media. www.niceradionetwork.com. Nice Radio Network, broadcasting 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.